Hey guys, I'm Sebastian.
I'm Christine.
This is Ninth Island Connection. Check out the description below so that you can see how you can watch our television show. Also, hit us up on social media. We're snapping, we're Instagramming, we're TikToking while they're still around. Who knows what's gonna happen there, but we are there. Check us out. We also go live every single Wednesday between the hours of noon and 1 p.m. Vegas time, where we bring you an update on what to expect that upcoming weekend. So we go live on Wednesday. We let you know what's going on in Vegas on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday if it's a long weekend. And we're talking weather, construction, events, everything going on in town so that you can have the best possible vacation while you're here in Vegas.
All right, now that we got that shameless plug out of the way, this video is all about Vegas hotels and what you can expect when it comes to staying in a hotel in Vegas. On the Strip is where we're going to focus because that is where our area of expertise is. And when I say area of expertise, that is because we spend way too much time in hotels on the Strip. And I'm not complaining. We love it. But we have stayed at all of the Caesars properties many times. We've stayed at all of the MGM properties many times. And so we're down here so much on the Strip and we spend so much time in hotels that we just want to share from our experience some of the things that you can expect when you're looking to stay in a hotel in Vegas. So let's get to it.
If you're familiar with our channel, you know that we live here, but we don't just live here, like we live here. We're not those typical locals that say that they avoid the Strip, which is fine. People live in Vegas for so many different reasons. We live in Vegas because we love Las Vegas Boulevard and all of the fun. When it comes to staycations, we do this several times per month. Just in the first 3 months of 2024, we've stayed on the Strip for 28 days out of 90. So I think you can say we have a lot of experience. And as Christine said, we've stayed at all Caesars properties. That's Caesars Palace, Harrah's, Link, Flamingo, Cromwell, Horseshoe, Paris, and Planet Hollywood, as well as all MGM properties, Mandalay Bay, Luxor, Excalibur, MGM, Park MGM, New York, Aria, Vidara, Bellagio, and Mirage when it was still an MGM property. And this is multiple times over the years. So I think we do have some experience.
When it comes to Vegas, there's something for everyone, and the same holds true for hotel rooms. Every hotel room on the Strip has their basic rooms, along with suites and everything in between. Some hotels are bougie and expensive, and others are more budget-friendly. Of course, there's the ones in between as well. So let's start with the old you get what you pay for. The more budget-friendly properties like Harrah's, Link, Flamingo, Horseshoe, Luxor, Excalibur, and New York, for example, are going to be more basic, nothing fancy. Of course, after staying in plenty of hotels across the country, Vegas's basic rooms are actually much nicer than the average basic room, in our opinion. Most rooms are in the 300s in terms of square footage, big enough for beds and some small additional furniture. Small tub, possibly, or just showers. Some rooms are nicer and more modern than others, but all are just fine if you're planning on using your room essentially as a place to just sleep and shower.
Now, when it comes to more of the in-between hotels like Paris, Planet Hollywood, Mandalay Bay, MGM, and Park MGM, they may offer a bit more space, a little bit more space. You may have a larger tub or larger shower and more furniture with a bit more recently renovated rooms. These ones aren't super pricey, but they're also not very different from the basic rooms. This is really should be an option only if you're looking for a little bit more space, like if you've got some work to do, maybe a conference that you're going to do from your computer, or just want a little bit of extra space, but there's really not a huge difference from the entry-level rooms.
Now, the higher-end properties like Bellagio, Aria, Vidara, Cosmopolitan, Venetian, CWIN, and Caesars Palace, for example, provide more space and nicer bathrooms, typically with bigger showers and sometimes even big soaking tubs, along with mini living room areas. Now, when it comes to suites, as we mentioned, they all have them. Some are just sweeter than others. If you're looking for a more elegant room that you plan on spending more time in, then it may be worth it. No matter where you stay though, always double check that your door is closed when you leave and use the additional safety locks when you're inside of the room.
Now, what extras can you expect in a room? Very rarely are you going to find a coffee pot and coffee, especially free coffee. You can plan on waiting in line at Starbucks or one of the coffee places in the properties, or bringing your own like we do. We bring a little single-serve mini Keurig with us, and it works just great. You can find a refrigerator in some of the rooms. We basically find them at the Link, Flamingo, Horseshoe, Paris, and PH. Now, the higher-end properties like Bellagio and Caesar's Palace do have them, but these are going to be stocked and not usable for your personal items. If you try to remove the items and put your personal items in, you're going to be charged for whatever you take out of there, and they're not going to give you a refund if you say, oh, I just put my own water in there. They're still going to charge you. They are really strict on that these days. MGM properties typically don't have refrigerators in their basic rooms. All rooms provide hygiene basics like a little shampoo bottle, some conditioner, a little bar of soap, maybe some body wash, and some lotion, but they're not that great. So if your skin is sensitive or your hair is sensitive, you're going to want to make sure you have your own. Now, all of the rooms are going to have an iron, an ironing board, a blow dryer, and a safe.
Now, an extra that nobody wants is bed bugs. Now, it's rare, but it does happen, so we do recommend checking your bedding before you unpack. We've never experienced this in all of our stays, knock on wood, but we have seen it on the news from time to time. So it's just generally good practice to check that the room is up to par before unpacking anyways. Nothing like having to pack all of your stuff up again due to a broken TV or a toilet that doesn't flush.
Lastly, when it comes to rooms, this is going to be the location of your room. Expect for it to be a bit of a walk. Now, we've stayed in rooms where we've been like as far away from the elevator as possible. And when you're lugging luggage, especially with wheels, down these carpeted hallways, it's a task. Now, most of these hotels are going to have carpeted hallways, so expect that wherever you stay, wherever your room is. Also, if you're near the elevator, you're going to hear people. I mean, it's Vegas. You're going to hear people coming in late, leaving early, etc. If you don't want to be near the elevator, all you have to do is just ask when you check in. It doesn't cost anything extra. If you're going to be near a music venue, like say Carnival Court, for example, you're going to hear music. If you're overlooking the pool, like we were recently at Paris and we had a pool view, you're going to hear music from the pool. And you know what? Don't complain about it. You should just expect it, because at these pools, people are partying, the music is loud. If that's an issue for you, tell them when you check in. Just say, hey, I'm here. I've got a conference call in the morning. Can you put me kind of in the middle of the hallway? They are more than happy to accommodate you. If you're looking for a quieter experience, again, just ask when you're checking in. You are going to have some noise though. People are going to be walking down the hallway. You're going to hear laughter, etc. down the hallway. So just expect that, because you know what? It is Vegas. You can also request to be closer to the elevator. If you just don't feel like walking that far, you've got a ton of bags, you've got kids with you, you don't want to be going all the way down, just tell them, hey, can you find me something close to the elevator? These guys are more than happy to accommodate you. You can give them a tip if you'd like, but you know what? This is not an upgrade or anything out of the ordinary. They're giving you the same room type, just either closer to the elevator, closer to the pool, etc. Speaking of elevators, many of the hotels do require a key to access floors for safety. They have sensors inside of the elevator. So be ready to have your key pressed against the sensor to be able to press your floor, or else you're just going to ride up and down with whoever else is in there. Now, it may sound simple, but we do see a lot of people struggling, or they forget when they get in the elevator. Once that elevator starts moving and it passes your floor, it's too late.
Okay, now that we've talked rooms, let's get into checking in and checking out. You do need a valid photo ID and a credit card. They do not accept cash or checks. The card on file does not have to be the one used to reserve a room though. If you have a rewards card, you want to present this too so that you can earn those tier credits and reward credits. You can check in via kiosk or at the desk, but do plan on waiting in line. They do have different check-ins available for higher reward levels like Diamond or 7 stars for Caesars and Gold for MGM. Now, typically, check-in is at 4 p.m., but if your room is ready, they may let you check in early, and it never hurts to ask. The worst they can say is, nope, it's not ready. Now, in our experience, we have never paid to check in early, and that's partially due to our reward level, and also we've just been lucky. However, some properties may charge a fee to check in early, and that's the same with a late checkout. Typical checkout time is 11 a.m., so expect busy elevators at this time. You'll need to call for a late checkout the evening prior. And when checking out, you can do so at the front desk if you'd like and you have the time. We never do. We just leave our keys in our room or drop them in one of the key drop boxes for recycled keys. But they actually do have options at some properties to check out online via the account or email link, or even using the TV in the room.
We've got to talk about the additional fees because they are everywhere and they do add up. First up is going to be parking. This is as soon as you pull into the parking lot, you start paying the property. Almost every property on the strip does charge daily for parking, even if you're a guest. So expect that. Now, if you're a certain rewards level or have the property's credit card, you can qualify for free parking. So if that's you, make sure you check. Next is the resort fee. This can range anywhere from $30 to $50 per night. Yes, per night. This is in addition to the room rate. And you know what? Sometimes the resort fees can cost more than the actual room. For example, you can get a room at Harrah's for $27. You're going to pay $35 a night for a resort fee. It's kind of ridiculous. And you know what? This is non-refundable. Again, this can be avoided if you're of a certain tier level. So if you're a rewards member, check online. If you're not a rewards member, sign up as soon as you get to the property. It doesn't cost anything, and you start to earn tier credits that can advance you higher up, and you can avoid these fees on your next trip. Properties do use amenities that they provide, like the pool or Wi-Fi, as the reason that they charge these additional fees, and you cannot get out of them. You cannot say, hey, I'm only going to use 5G and I'm not going to the pool. Guess what? You're still going to pay. Now, when it comes to Wi-Fi, you can connect up to 2 devices. Anything additional, you're going to pay for that. They'll get you. They will nickel and dime you for every single penny. Lastly, there's a nightly deposit for incidentals that is refundable upon checkout. So again, you need to have a credit card for this here. This fee is very different based on the property, some being as much as $100 per night, like Caesar's Palace and Cromwell. It does take a couple days for the deposits to be refunded, but you're going to have to pay that in advance. You don't pay per night. So for example, if you're staying 5 nights at Caesar's Palace, right when you check in, you better be ready to put a deposit down of $500. There is no tax because this isn't a charge. All they're doing is putting a hold on those dollars on your credit card. And if they have to charge you after you check out, for example, you use something in the wet bar or there's damage, you decided to fill your suitcase full of bathrobes, whatever the case may be, they will charge you after you check out.
All right, next up is charging to your room. You can charge to your room when it comes to most of the retail and dining inside of the properties, but we certainly recommend checking the statement before you check out. You can always dispute charges, of course, but it's much easier to do so in person because sometimes when you're contacting the hotel, you're not really getting somebody who's physically at the hotel. And also we should note, if you do plan on charging to your hotel room, you want to make sure who's ever allowed to do so has their name on the room. Because if you're charging and your name is not on the room, they will not let you do the transaction. And if you do plan on charging to your room, do be prepared to show a photo ID.
Let's talk about marijuana. Everyone knows that it is legal in Vegas for recreational purposes, but the Las Vegas hotels do not allow consumption on the property or in the room. Now, I don't know how they're going to know if you're consuming edibles, but if they have evidence that you were smoking in the room, they can smell it, they can see ashes, they will charge you a cleaning fee. It's best to avoid this by just not smoking in your room. If you want to get high in your room, I would recommend edibles. And it's not like you can sit in the casino either and light up a fatty. You cannot consume marijuana on the hotel property. They will kick you out.
All right, let's talk housekeeping. So now when you check in, you can opt in or out of housekeeping. However, this doesn't always mean that this is communicated from the front desk staff to the housekeeping staff. So we always opt out, but I have had several experiences where we opted out of housekeeping and then had the room occupied sign on the door and still had housekeeping come in without even knocking. This isn't the norm though, but because it has happened to me, we typically add a note on the door that says we opted out of housekeeping and or let housekeeping know this if we see them in the hallway. We do the same for late checkouts. If you opt out, you can always ask for more towels, toilet paper, hygiene supplies if you need them. If you want housekeeping, opt in at check-in and remove your room occupied sign from your door. Keep in mind that housekeeping has a lot of rooms to clean, so they may come early or later in the day, not necessarily around your schedule.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time on our channel, take a look around. All we do is bring you Vegas. Room reviews, room tours, hotel reviews, pros and cons, pools, restaurants. Now, we do a little bit of gambling on our channel, but we are not a gambling channel. There's some awesome gambling channels out there. If that's what you're looking for, do check them out. That's not typically us, though. Again, thanks so much. Check out the description below so that you can see how you can watch our television show wherever you are. And we also go live every Wednesday between the hours of noon and 1 p.m. Vegas time, so Pacific Standard Time, where we give you an update on what's going on in Vegas that upcoming weekend. So we go live on Wednesday, we let you know what's up on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday if it's a long weekend. And we're talking about whether there's sports in town, like the Raiders have a home game, or Vegas Golden Knights, the WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces, anything sports related. We let you know if there's construction, if there's traffic, major events in town like music festivals, beer festivals, just really everything going on so that you can have the best possible time when you're in town. And of course, we want to hear from you. What are your tips on expectations for people coming to Vegas when it comes to the hotels? Share your comments and experiences below. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. "24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in a city that never sleeps, Ninth Island Connection will take you there. You won't want to miss a beat as we give you a sneak peek inside the biggest, best, and most outrageous hotspots, both on and off the strip. Be sure to tune in to Ninth Island Connection with Sebastian Rodriguez every week. Great people, great stories, great connections, only on Ninth Island Connection."